Hey everyone, if you've been struggling getting product feedback and Amazon reviews by leveraging something as powerful as ManyChat, you're going to love what we've got ready for you in this piece of content. It's Troy from Seller.Tools here, and I am joined with Henson at FeedbackWhiz.
So we're going to start off now with Troy, and he's going to go through how to set up your ManyChat ads and the sequences and how to collect that data. And then I will do the second part where we will take that data and use it in FeedbackWhiz to help you get better reviews.
Hey everyone, so now that we're on my computer, let's go ahead and dive into what we've got ready for you guys. So what we're going to be tackling is leveraging some of really the most powerful resources at your disposal. How to leverage ManyChat, craft a compelling Facebook ad and getting our audience and targeting right, capturing customer feedback, so really dialing in our post-purchase follow-up and driving that engagement, and also leveraging, of course, FeedbackWhiz as part of that process. So for our purposes, we're going to use totally fake sort of example or sample products as part of this, as part of next steps. So the first product we're going to use is under this fake brand of Get Toys. It's this building block set, plastic building blocks for really for toddlers, for little ones. Comes in this nice little convenient carry pouch. And then the other is going to be Dell candles. Kind of an interesting brand name there for 3-piece LED candle set. Nice little candle set that comes part of that brand. And so first things first, we want to really keep this simple. As I mentioned, we'll touch on Facebook ads and targeting, but we want to simplify this from really in the lens, through the lens of an Amazon seller. We're going to focus on audience, who we're talking to and delivering our ads to, and then our offer, which is actually going to be a 100% rebate. We do that for two explicit benefits. We want the ranking benefit of our full purchase buy, but then of course it lends itself to us being able to potentially capture verified reviews and ideally 5-star reviews from there as well. Now in our targeting, I'm going to share with you this good, better, best model, just to really remove any intimidation or any concerns that you have if it's the first time you're running Facebook ads for your product, and getting going effectively, removing that concern and that worry that you may have. So at the good, the adequate level is really general audience targeting. It's answering questions like who. So this typically highlights some of your demographic data, the age, the gender, potentially the income, but really shapes out that customer avatar that often needs to come up when you're doing your product research. You really want to be thinking about that in the early stages of bringing a product to market, or even on Amazon. But the who identifies some of the key pieces of that customer avatar. The what really speaks more to the relation of that customer to your product, thinking about features, benefits, positioning, what's compelling in terms of copy or positioning from there as well. And then when is keeping in mind, is your product taking advantage or not of a specific trend? Is there seasonality to keep in mind? Is there times of year where, let's say, our block set or even our candles may be more conducive towards winter, where people are, maybe inside, they're already lighting candles, they're thinking about setting a mood, or they're thinking about, let's say, Halloween and buying more of those types of candles for safety reasons. But answering those types of questions when it comes to when we are actually serving up our ad or offer to those customers. So let's hop over into brand analytics. So in this account, one thing to keep in mind, this is an active Seller Central account with products that aren't our example or fake products. So that's why the data may be a little bit different than your assumptions, but that's where this is really powerful, is it can test those assumptions. It can embolden with data some of those insights, the demographics data. And that's actually where we access this here in brand analytics, just going to demographics. And I've taken a look here at a kind of a quarterly review, ample data set here of getting some insights into things like age. Am I assuming maybe my customers are at the lowest end, but maybe they make up a different cross-section or age group of existing customers? Household income. Again, this can be something that informs and kind of tests some of your assumptions as to who your customer is that's actually putting money on the line. They're buying your product. They're legitimately your customers. And it can inform what your subsequent targeting should look like. Education. That can be and identify here as well. Gender, whether there's disparity. In this case, in this live account, we can see that there's not much. It's a pretty even match. Or marital status. Now, there's a pretty big disparity here, and this is kind of what you're looking for, is anytime you can see a vast difference in the data to inform some of the decisions. A good amount of information not available, so that could shake things up a little bit. But brand analytics just takes it that much higher, where we've got data to support some of our targeting and audience segmentation. So if we hop back over from better, really the next level, the best level, is a truly existing audience, or creating a lookalike from that audience. So this can often be an audience where you're capturing folks through an email list, a pixel page, you name it. That can be a really powerful way to drive to get your offers in front of those folks, and then creating a lookalike where you're telling Facebook, doing some analysis, looking at trends, creating some overlap, but a new segmentation of that customer group as a really solid lookalike audience. Now, if you want to invest a little bit more, if there's not an arm's reach audience that you've already built through a list, through a pixel page, these are great ways of taking Facebook objectives and investing in creating a more powerful audience through something like video views, where if you create a relevant piece of content, for our example, let's say the power of the knowledge and the learning that a toddler gets by playing with building blocks, that's a hyper relevant content that you can send to an audience. And if they view a majority of that video, wouldn't you think that's a warmer audience to send subsequent offers to? You bet. And it's the same way with engagement, where if they're highly interested in relevant content, those are the perfect folks, that warmer audience that we're interested in giving offers or even future content to. If we want to warm them up or elongate our funnel or get more creative, there's a number of ways to do that. But let's say you're not wanting to dive too far into digital marketing or Facebook ads. As an Amazon seller, there's really easy, low-hanging fruit for you to take full advantage of. And that is starting first with a discount offer. That gets folks in the door, where you create that existing audience that you can cross-sell, you can upsell, you can create a lookalike audience from. But essentially, you open the door, you kind of create that gateway from which subsequent audiences and segmentation can take place. And this doesn't need to be out of control. You can just have a 25, a 30% offer where you're sort of removing price as much of an objection, but you're getting customers in that are acclimating to your brand, your product, the buying experience, and then you're utilizing that audience for future initiatives, but you're getting that ball rolling in terms of that all-important step. So with this good, better, best, these insights in mind, let's hop right into ManyChat. And I'm going to walk you through how in ManyChat itself you can actually create your Facebook ad, dial in your offer, and actually create your audience, your targeting for that ad in one easy to manage place. So let's go ahead and jump right into ManyChat, because I've got this process started. So once you're in ManyChat, in the appropriate account, you're going to want to go down to Growth Tools and then Ads. And this is where you can kick off the ad creation process. So I've already selected my ad account, which is my personal one. We're going to create a new campaign as part of the next step. We're going to leave campaign type as messages, and then campaign name, we'll go ahead and set that as rebate as part of our offer and feedback as part of what we're going to capture. We'll go ahead and just give it a number. Let's say, and I do that in case I do any A/B testing, split testing, or so on. Setting a campaign spend limit. This is just essentially a ceiling for your spend. I'm going to encourage you, if you're just starting out or really getting acclimated to running Facebook ads for your some of your Amazon offers, be vigilant with daily reviews and setting a daily budget. But this is just a ceiling, just making sure you're not spending more than you intend to. So I'm going to just set this at 300 for our campaign spend limit. We're going to create a brand new ad set. Click to Messenger is good to go for our message destination. We hop down, we need to confirm our audience, but first and foremost, let's go ahead and create the name convention for our ad set. So I'm going to do the same thing, rebate and feedback, add one. And then this is where, again, we take the insights from what we've touched on in our good, better, best model to create our audience. Now, again, this is where you can add that customer lookalike audience. You can either include them or exclude those that, let's say, have already taken advantage of an offer. You just don't want them to see this ad. You can do that all here in one step. Now, ideally, if we have some insight from brand analytics, we'd bring that over. And again, that can inform at that good, better threshold. Best, again, is if we have that customer lookalike audience. But let's say, for example purposes, brand analytics kind of informs us that, hey, we've got this demographic data. We know that the age range is about 25 to 34. We notice that the gender is leaning a little bit more towards women, so we segment them in our audience targeting. The location, now this is often fairly intuitive as well. We're focused on Amazon.com, so we're going to go ahead and pick the US. And for language, we'll pick English, US. Make sure that that's good to go. And then targeting. Now this is often where folks get hung up, but you don't really need to. One of the things to keep in mind is that things like keywords are a really great default option for your targeting, especially because we already have narrowed through demographic data our audience segment. So let's say our building block set is really just a toy effectively. So let's go ahead and put that in as a keyword to see what kind of interests pop up. So we can see toy, toys, so the plural, stuffed toy, toy blast. Some of these other options really don't fit in line. Toys R Us, probably a little bit older segment. So let's go ahead and add in both the plural and the singular of toy and see what kind of max potential reach we get. 13 million, and that's pretty high. That's on the upper end of what we'd want to see, but that is adequate. And I'm a big believer, this is really a kind of a test of your marketing, your paid ad philosophy. If you start wide and then narrow down, which I'm a bigger believer of that, because then you have more data to inform versus being more narrow and going wider from there. The data is harder to capture those insights and refine and optimize your performance without that data effectively. So you can continue to exclude or narrow this further, but I'm actually okay with this. 13 million with that demographic data, with that general targeting in mind, we are good to go. So again, keep that in mind. Don't be intimidated by this when it comes to targeting, keeping in mind some of our insights again from the prior steps, that we are good to go from there. Now from audience, now we've moved over to placements. We can edit the placement. What I like to do, and I encourage you to test this out as well, is just run your targeting just through Facebook feeds, because there's such a clear and easy link from your Facebook feed to Facebook Messenger, where folks will be interacting with our ManyChat flows. So all that we need to do in that case is unselect all of the other options, leaving just the Facebook feed. You'll notice too that narrows our max potential reach, because it just narrows the scope of the touch points, the platforms in which our ad is delivered, and I'm totally okay with that. That's still a good pocket to fall into, where we're showing up in a relevant and a very easy connection there from our Facebook feed again to Facebook Messenger and our ManyChat flows. We'll go ahead and click next, and then set our daily budget. Now, because again, we're going to monitor this daily, I'm going to go ahead and set this to 30, which is a healthy budget, to kick things off and see how we perform right from the outset. You can run your ad continuously. Again, I'm okay with that. If you're worried you're not going to be vigilant with your oversight, you may want to set this to maybe 10 days from when you're first running your ad. That's totally up to you. But again, because I'm going to be watching this every day, I'm good to run it continuously and click continue. Simple and as easy as that. Now, our next and really one of the final steps is actually creating our ad. And I'm going to do that right on the other side of this video, and I'm going to have it all populated and walk you through the strategy and why I implement it in this way. All right, so I've gone ahead and built out this ad, and let's walk through each one of the steps and really show you the strategy behind how we craft our ad. So I've got clearly on here what the offer is, 100% rebate offer, calling a lot of attention to that, and using a pretty liberal use of emojis, which is encouraged. It really helps to stop the scroll, one of our main objectives with our Facebook ad, and then highlighting learning blocks for your little ones with convenient carrying case. Don't miss out. Get yours while supplies last. Effectively encouraging and trying to resonate with who our audience is with this offer, as it already being quite compelling, and building some urgency as well. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, I simply took the brand name, an arrow that has a pretty stark color against a white background, product image. This is my literal main image on Amazon, and then highlighting again 100% rebate, something I just quickly created here in Canva. But one of the things I like to do visually with Facebook ads is really draw as much attention and creating a flow down to the call to action. You'll kind of notice this here as you take your eyes and follow the direction, the flow of the visual element. Something very small, but I believe, and this is something I've seen be quite effective, is that it just takes your eyes to where and drives the customer effectively where you want to take them as part of the next steps. Plus, it's just so stupid simple. Something you can do 5 minutes in Canva. If you haven't utilized Canva before, canva.com, just a really easy way to create graphics, quick tweaks, add elements, and that's all it took me to create this, the Facebook ad creative for this ad in particular. And then with the headline and description, very straightforward here, where I'm essentially just reinforcing the limited time offer, building in that urgency, driving those call to actions. And those are the two key objectives that we want to achieve. We want to stop the scroll, so we're visible and compelling, and we want the call to action to be very clear. We want to do that through visual elements, through the copy, but not overcomplicate it. You'll notice this is a pretty simple ad that I'm serving, and we're not adding in a bunch of bells and whistles. We're not running the risk of having so many emojis that the brand perception is diluted. You often see that with these really compelling offers, but I find that if you call attention to the key pieces, the offer is very clear, you meet those two objectives of stopping the scroll and driving the call to action, that's more than enough to really see great performance with your Facebook ads. Simple and as easy as that. And then once we're done, we go ahead and click next. And all I'm thinking about is really keeping the excitement. They're most likely excited if they're clicking through my ad of taking of purchasing the product, and getting them saying yes right away, because that really helps with subsequent steps in the journey and in the ManyChat flow. And this is really all I do here. Awesome, excitement, exclamation. We use emojis, not liberally but selectively here. And then, are you ready to receive this limited offer? And yes, I'm ready. We make sure that that has a little bit longer form than no, drawing more attention to it. If they click yes, I'm ready, we then take them right to our flow. You click the go to flow option when you configure this and add in your very own flow as part of next steps for the customer. So with that, I'm going to jump right into the next part in ManyChat, and the flow in particular we're going to be using as part of this offer. Great, so I'm here now in my rebate and feedback flow that we're going to be taking our customers through, and we're going to walk through each and every part of this process and flow. First thing that we're going to do is tag, and making sure that the customer does not have this tag of rebate received, so we prevent any abuse, mistakes by a customer in terms of them getting coming back in, taking advantage of this offer again. We're going to make sure that they do not have this tagging, and if they don't, we'll go ahead and bring them into the next steps, which is saying, hey, customer, thanks so much for your interest in our product. We'll happily give you 100% rebate right to your PayPal account just for trying it out. Are you ready to purchase? And we do a few things there where, again, we continue the excitement, we clarify the offer, we really reinforce the offer of the 100% rebate, and we let them know how they're going to be reimbursed or rebated for this offer via PayPal. If there's any difference, any change that you make there, clarify that as early on as possible. That's an important clarification to ensure that there's shared expectations, there's no customer frustration for them as part of their interaction with us. And are you ready to purchase? Yes. Once they click yes, we say awesome, click below to purchase your product now. Look for your product as pictured below. So we upping the frequency again. That's the second time they're seeing our main image. So when they come through and we say after your purchase, grab your Amazon order ID, we'll verify your purchase, then process your 100% rebate. Again, clarifying the offer and making sure that we have the important Amazon order ID so we can verify their order. And then they can go ahead and click buy now. Now, what we do here is we use an optimized link. We use a field ASIN, two-step field ASIN URL in this case, to get some of the keyword rank, that positive ranking benefit of driving that traffic to our detail page. You can more easily create an optimized link like a two-step field ASIN just by hopping over to Seller.Tools. Under free resources, you can navigate to Jenny, and this is where you can easily create a two-step field ASIN by adding in your keyword, your ASIN, and then generating that URL. taking the form of similar to this example, just copying it over, and then bringing it right back into our flows and dropping it into the website address. Simple and as easy as that. Of course, we're using a totally fake product in this example, so I don't have an ASIN to utilize, but it will be just that easy for you to create one as needed if you're using an optimized link in your flow. So we're driving that customer, they're purchasing our product through a two-step field ASIN. We're waiting 2 minutes and then following up and saying, awesome, ready to verify your purchase. Once they click I'm ready, we clear custom fields that are relevant to their order ID. It's just effectively making sure that it's a clean slate from which we will review and verify their order ID and verify it in real time. We ask, what is your Amazon order ID? So it's the 17-digit code, and it'll be in this format. Most customers now are really getting acclimated and understanding what their Amazon order ID is. Once they input it, this is where we let Seller.Tools and the Seller.Tools API do the heavy lifting for us. In this external request, if we click on it, what it does, because we have authorized our Seller.Tools API key, we're using this request URL, we can verify customer orders in real time. Really powerful, keeps you or a VA, any manual error, any delays, any customer frustration. Through automation and technology, we remove all of that and verify a customer's order in real time. Very powerful step to be able to do this in an automated fashion. If you're interested in taking a look at this more, I would encourage you hop over to Seller.Tools. You can look at the API, some of our ManyChat specific resources, walks you through in about 5 minutes how you set this up to where you can use this and again verify orders in real time. Very powerful. And that's what we're doing here in this flow. We verify their order. We check, is it shipped or is it pending? Now, more than likely it's pending because it takes a little bit of time to process and ship an order. But if it is pending, what we tell the customer is we've effectively verified the order. We've used the Seller.Tools API and we've verified their order. We let them know as much, and we ask for their PayPal email. We'll use this to send you a full rebate for your purchase within a few business days. Now, you may want to clarify, you may want to time your rebate and the time in which you process the rebate, but it's all about sharing and clarifying that expectation with your customer. Again, in this step, we capture their PayPal email, and then we push that to a Google Sheet. So if we take a look at our sheet that we've created, this spreadsheet, in this case sample rebate sheet, in the first tab, we are capturing some really powerful data. The last interaction with the customer, their first and last name, their PayPal email, again, which they've just provided to us. They've already sent along their order ID. We've captured that in a separate data point. And then we're also, in future steps, capturing customer feedback in the form of a really brief survey. Great way to drive engagement, as you're going to see here in some of the next few steps. So we've captured their PayPal email as part of that Google Sheet. We let them know, okay, we've got your email. Keep an eye out in your inbox in the next few days for your rebate. We tag that customer again. You remember our very first step is that tag. We make sure we have no abuse protection, people slipping through the cracks, trying to take advantage multiple times of our offer. We've got that through this through tagging here. We wait 1 hour, then continue the flow again. And this is a really cool way where we again thank the customer for their order. They can click below to check your order status. We love that little dopamine hit. You know, customers that add their phone numbers, they want text message updates. Even with 2-day Prime, customers love being able to check their order status. And through again the Seller.Tools API, they can do that very easy, very seamlessly. And it's kind of a really almost shameless way of just driving more engagement, getting customers acclimated to completing steps in a flow, engaging with us more, which who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love a highly engaged customer that you can drive great interactions with, give them value, they share value. It's just a great way to put the power of ManyChat to use. Then we wait 4 days. And then the same steps that we did with the eligibility for rebates is what we're going to be doing for next steps, which is capturing customer feedback. And we want to ensure if we've already asked for feedback, we're not asking that same customer the same questions. And this is the same steps here where we've got condition. If feedback hasn't been requested, we bring that customer into the next step in the flow, where then we tag them and say, okay, now we're about to ask them for some feedback. Let's go ahead and tag them with feedback requested. And we ask the customer a few powerful questions. You can, of course, tweak these, optimize these as needed, but this is a really cool way of getting some insight from customers, drive value, drive that engagement, as part of your flow. And we ask them, now that you've received your product and rebate, could we ask you for really 5 minutes, just a really small, soft ask. By answering these 3 quick questions, you share invaluable feedback that means the world to us. Let them know how important it is that they're taking the time and effort to share that feedback. If they say no, let's say they do, obviously we make no, not as compelling of an option, but if they do, no worries at all. Let them know we're here to assist and thank them for being a valued customer. If they say yes, we want to take advantage of a customer interacting more closely with us and using ManyChat to bridge that communication. And so the first thing we ask is, how would you rate your satisfaction with the product? Now, keep in mind, this is where this smart delay, you may want to alter this as to the timing of when you're following up with your customer. So it's maybe, let's say, because it's 2-day prime, it's only 2 days after they've received their product. When is a customer maybe receiving the most utility with your product? When is that feedback well timed? And that can inform how far out you push your smart delay. So one thing to really keep in mind and reinforce there. So if they click yes, I'd share, how would you rate your satisfaction with the product? Very easy, sort of 5-point or 5-star scale here. We're not asking for a review. This is feedback. This is just all happening in ManyChat. That's an important point. We're not driving a customer back to Amazon at this point. We're just natively asking for their feedback here in our ManyChat flow. So they can pick from this 5-star rating or all the way down to 1-star different responses. But we want to capture that. We want this valuable customer feedback. Now, if they give this feedback that is low, less than stellar in their product satisfaction, we want to let our team know right away. This is where you can notify admins, really cool feature in ManyChat, where we're notifying 6 different people on our team via messenger and email. We want them to be notified. That might be overkill for you. You may have a VA or customer support person who's your point of contact who should be informed. But they know through this feedback only happening in ManyChat. Again, we're not driving them to Amazon right here, that they are not super satisfied with their product. Now, that's plenty of opportunity to resolve, to address, to inform, to empower, to do all of that just by simply asking the question and getting that feedback. Pretty powerful stuff that we're taking advantage of in this survey. Now, if they give us positive responses in this feedback, that's great. Let's get some more insight from this customer. How would you rate the packaging of this product? Just a really great way to get this type of feedback. Same flow here, where they can give us through this rating system the feedback in this survey. If it's stellar, that's great. Let's capture that feedback. If it's less than stellar, let's get our team involved and get them support to be able to maybe more better and address or capture that customer insight. Same with the last question. How would you rate the delivery of your purchase? And I need to slightly change that. How would you rate the delivery or delivery experience of your purchase? Now, this is an FBA product, so this again really falls on Amazon's shoulders, but is that really the expectation you want to set with your customer? Would you rather just over deliver and drive optimal buying experience and have it resonate with them and really have you stand above the others if they're buying your competitors or considering your competitors? This is a great opportunity to capture that type of feedback. Again, immensely invaluable here. We get our CS team involved as needed, but we capture and ensure that we're over-delivering in the feedback as showing up in the survey. And one of the cool things you may have noticed as part of our Google Sheet, where we captured PayPal email, we captured order ID, we also capture the survey responses. It doesn't look like some of our other custom fields are pulling in over here right now. Let me go back actually. Let's see if it's in our other row, or excuse me, our other G sheet. Bring that back up. Yeah, it looks like it's cleanly pulling over, so we should be okay. Effectively, all of our other custom fields are passing. We're capturing all this data. And the same thing with our survey responses. For question 1, we're getting their rating. We're getting question 2, question 3, and so on, with our CS being there, being available, and really supporting the customer as needed as part of capturing some of that feedback. So you can really start to see the power of this flow, where we're getting all this positive rank benefit. We're taking full advantage of rebates. We're building our audience if that's something that we need that as a really solid first step, and really just driving an optimal, elevated buying experience as a whole and putting the customer in the forefront. So I think you're starting to see the power of this process, of this flow. I think I'm going to leave it there to hand it off to Henson as part of next steps to really continue to elevate your post-purchase sequence and drive the most out of that customer, that buying experience, and drive that relationship moving forward.
Hey everyone, for this part of the video, we're going to be going over FeedbackWhiz and how you can use some of the data from your ManyChat sequence and brand analytics to build a very customized and effective email template to send to your customers to ask them for product reviews. Now, recently Amazon has updated many rules and on what you can do when you send out reviews via email. So please make sure you review Amazon's terms of service so you understand what you can and can't do when you ask for reviews through emails. And today I'm going to go over some of these templates and campaigns we've created. In the earlier part of the video, we talked about having two different brands. One is Get Toys and one is Dell Candles. So I've created a number of templates and campaigns, and I'm gonna just walk you through how I created them and what kind of content I put inside, and how do you actually set up your campaigns. And then the second part of the video, we're gonna talk about how we can use some of the ManyChat data, especially when you do the surveys, and especially for the users who had a negative experience or response from the surveys, and we can blacklist those customers from getting your automated emails. That way, in case they were to leave you a negative review, you can avoid it. And then afterwards, I'll show you in FeedbackWhiz how you can actually monitor and track all the reviews that come in once they're posted. So to get started here, I'm inside FeedbackWhiz and I'm inside the template manager. And first thing you have to do is you have to create an email template. And the email template is where you have your subject line and your content of the email. So I've already created these templates to save some time. So for the Get Toys product, we just call it order shipment, because this is what we want to send out when the order first gets processed into the system. Now, however, Amazon recently updated their TOS stating that you should not be sending out any order shipment emails that just contain, a shipping link or a tracking link. So if you are to send an order shipment email, make sure you include some other information about the product or a way for the customer to contact you if there's an issue. So in this email here, you can see that let me try to zoom out a little bit more. This is our template editor, and the left hand side is where you edit the template. Now you can easily copy and paste your logo of your brand inside. I'll recommend doing this since it's a good way to get the brand exposure for your customers. And then here we have a picture of the product, and how do you get this picture is you can use the variables within our editor, and it allows you to actually insert different types of order data into templates, so you don't actually need to create too many templates. So you can create one for each brand, and then you can call up these variables. So this would be a product image variable, and then you can call up, let's say, if you wanted to display the actual item title, you can use the item title variable. But in this case, I don't, because Amazon, by default in their templates, when you send it out, they will include the ASIN and the product title. So it's actually not really necessary to put in there. So what I did put in here was kind of a thank you message, just letting them know that, hey, thanks for your purchase. I've attached an ebook to this email to help you guys better understand the product. So a very effective way to get better reviews or responses from your customers is to give them some free information about your product. So in this case here, you can use the upload button here, and you can attach an ebook, and it will attach this information. So when the email sends out, they will be able to get it. And then I just included a message that says, here's your tracking information. When your item arrives, there's anything wrong with it, damaged, please contact us and make sure, and we'll take care of you. So it's a very just simple email and very quick and short. Doesn't have any links in here asking them for reviews or feedback or anything like that. So everything in here is within Amazon's TOS. So this is recommended first email to send out, the template. And then the second template I've created is a more special template. This one is to ask for reviews. And in this template here, you can see I actually put it in some animated GIFs. So it asked me how you actually put this GIF inside. It's very simple. You can just go to the website like jiffy.com, and all you have to do is search for a keyword like thank you, and you can find an image, and then find an image of your liking. If you wanted to use this one here, just click on it, right click, do copy image, come into the template builder, find anywhere, and then just paste it in here. And it's just like that, very simple. You could drag the right hand corner to resize it, and that's all you have to do. So the reason I put in some of these images is because it's very important that your emails that you send out have to be very personalized. And for you to get the maximum conversions, especially for product reviews, you want to build a good connection with the customer. And these days, people always say like emails are not effective, or people aren't opening my emails, or things like that. But it's still very effective if you understand your audience and if you understand what to send within the template to build that connection with them. So in the case of this product here, we're selling a toy product. So one of the things is, toys are usually for kids. So the people buying these products, probably parents, possibly more towards women. And earlier, Troy in the video referenced brand analytics, and we can go back and take a look at the brand analytics to see actually if you guys have this, Amazon does provide a lot of this information, so you can see things like marriage, marital status, gender, household income. And usually what I would reference to is more gender. Gender is probably the most important thing, because men and women have different types of messages that trigger them. So I would try gender, and then age is also very important too. So based on some of this information here, you can use this data to help you guys create a better personalized template that caters towards this audience. Now, so in this template here, I just made it very simple. Just thank them, let them know that we hopefully you received your product, and if you have any questions, comments, or issues, please contact us. We'll help you, assist you, and then you can ask them to leave a product review for this product. So just keep it very simple, very neutral. When you ask for reviews, make sure you don't ask them for please leave us a positive review, or say anything like, hey, if you had a bad experience with the product, before you leave us a review, could you contact us? So those are all things that are against Amazon's terms of service, so make sure you watch out for that. So once you can throw in a few more pictures in here. I usually like using animals, because people are more attracted to animals, and it's very cute. And since this is a kid's product toy, you can throw in a picture of a kid. So all these images are very easy to find. Just go to Jiffy, you can search for keywords, and then build a very creative template. Wouldn't recommend putting too many images in here, just because it could get a little bit could be overdoing a little bit. But if you create something very cute and friendly, something funny, we've seen results where you get much higher conversions than just sending normal text emails. So definitely try it out. So this is a good example of what you could use for sending out reviews, to ask for reviews. The other type of review request email you could send is something very plain and simple. Like in this case here, you could have a very clean cut template. Again, use these variables to put in the links. And here I'm just letting them know that if you have any questions, issues, product, please call us anytime. We're willing to take care of it. And then you can ask them to leave a review. So in this case here, I've created this custom button in here. It's very attractive. You can actually see it's actually changing colors. How this is done is actually through a animated GIF that you can custom create through multiple pictures. So for people that don't know how to do this, we have some videos in FeedbackWhiz that show you. Really quickly, just go to a website called thebuttonfactory.com, and And this website here will actually allow you to create this image, and you would probably have to create multiple images in order to make this thing an animated GIF. So I won't go through details, but things like this is when people open email, it's attractive, but you don't really necessarily have to do this. It's just different things you can try. So in this template here, it's very simple. It shows just very plain and in a non-biased way asking them for a review. So here I want to also go through and talk a little bit about subject lines. And subject lines is actually the most important thing for you to get high conversions, is because if the customer doesn't like your subject line, they won't open the email. They're never going to see your template. So we usually recommend sending very simple subject lines. Don't put too much information about what the order is about, or the email is about. In this case here, one of the best subject lines we recommend is using regarding your Amazon order ID. And then you can use our variable to put in the order ID, and it'll automatically populate based on the customer's order. And the reason why this the subject line gets very high open rates is because there's not too much information about what the content of the email is, but it's something to do with the Amazon order. So usually people would want to read it because they, either they need to know more information, or it could be some issue with delays or whatnot, but it gives very high open rates. So you could see open rates anywhere from 40 to 60% by just using the subject line. So really highly recommend using something similar to this. I have the in here as well, but that also gives high response rates, just because back in the days when you guys send emails and it automatically generates a so it looks like there's a conversation already, but you don't have to do this, so it's up to you. So once you've created these templates, the next step is to set up your campaign. So in FeedbackWhiz, you would need to set up a campaign, and the campaign is where you choose the template, and then from there you can set up all the timing rules, the exclusion rules, when to send it, things like that. So for example here, let me actually go back to the shipped email. So we recommend sending 2 emails per order. The first email could be that shipped template that I went through earlier with some information about a product, and then the second email is when you want to ask for reviews. So in this first email here, what you can do is create a campaign name, and then you just select the template that you created. So in this case, it's the Get Toys order shipment. And then from here, you want to be able to trigger this email to send out based on a status. So in this case, I want to trigger when it's shipped. So as soon as the Amazon API data tells us, hey, this product's been shipped, I want to send out this email. So in here, I would just pick shipped, and then you can do either as soon as possible, or we can choose a certain time of day. Usually I prefer sending it at either between 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for best open rates. But studies show that sending it at night or like 5 to 7 p.m. is also pretty good too. So it's really up to you when you want to send it. I usually recommend the morning time for shipped, because this is pretty early in the ship status, so they will get this email. And it's pretty simple. So that's pretty much all you have to do. You don't really need to worry about exclusions, because we have a lot of exclusions here, and these events are unlikely to have occurred during this ship stage. So I'll show you in the next campaign on what to set up for exclusions. And then for order matching rules, if you just sell a few products, or if you have one product, then you can just do all products. But let's say you have multiple products. So in this case here, we have the Get Toys, but then we also have the Dell Candles product. So in this case, what I want to do is use the ASIN equals, and then select exactly which ASINs belong to this Get Toys product, or this template I want to send out. So you can just pick and choose, whatever ASINs you want, and then that way that this campaign will only target these ASINs that I've selected. And that's it for this campaign. And then you just click on review and save, and then it will activate the campaign, and it'll start queuing up the emails to send. So that's the first email campaign you can set up for shipped. And then the second email for review requests, same thing. You select the email template for review requests that you created for Get Toys. And then for target order status, I would choose delivered. And here's where you can actually set up exclusions. So for example, FeedbackWhiz does get data for seller feedback. So we know if they left you negative feedback. So if they left you negative feedback, there's probably no reason to ask them for review, since chances are high they might not like your product and leave you a bad review. So I would definitely check the 1, 2, and 3 star for feedback, make sure they don't send it out. And then orders and returns and refunds, if they refunded return orders, definitely don't want to ask them for review. So you can also check these to exclude sending to them. And the schedule, it's the same concept. You can send it out 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then what I would recommend is figuring out what kind of product you're selling and how much time the customer needs to evaluate the product. So for a toy product, it could be anywhere from a few days to a week. But if you're selling something where it's maybe consumables like supplements, then you definitely don't want to send it out within a week. You might want to send it out like after a month, just to give them enough time to evaluate the product so they can leave you a review. So this is actually very important to know, that sending the email out for reviews too early will not help you, because most of the time the customers haven't had time to actually use your product. So make sure you set appropriate date for that. And then same thing with order matching rules. You can select the ASIN equals, select all products you want, and then save it. And then we have some advanced options too. I won't go over this, but you can send out different types of email sequences for repeat buyers. So if they bought your product multiple times, then you can send them different email templates. So that's pretty much all you have to do to set up your review requests on FeedbackWhiz. So after you set this up, then it's automated. All the people that you've reached out through ManyChat will be getting these emails. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about like what happens to the people that did your survey in ManyChat, and let's say they had a poor experience or say they didn't like your product. Now you can go into FeedbackWhiz and actually exclude sending emails to them because you have the order information. So if I pull up the Excel spreadsheet of the downloadable from Seller.Tools, you can see there's a few columns here that actually has name, the emails, the survey questions. So let's say in the surveys they give you a low score. It has the order ID, which is great. So what you do is you take this order ID, you copy it, and then you come into FeedbackWhiz and you go to our orders page. And then in our orders page, it actually has all the orders that was placed through Amazon, and then you can find order ID. So by just pasting this sample order ID, you actually pull up the exact order that it came from. And now what you can do is you can exclude sending them an email. So if you have a campaign running, and if I exclude this order, the campaign will automatically not send the email to this buyer. So all I have to do is check mark the box and then click here, and I can say do not solicit for order or do not solicit for buyer. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but our campaigns are on an order basis, so I'll just do not solicit by order. So right away what it'll do is it'll mark this as do not solicit, and the email for asking them any emails will never go out for this order again. So this is a really good way to leverage some of that survey data you had to make sure that these people that didn't have a good experience don't leave your review for this product. So now once you set that up, pretty much you're going to start getting reviews coming in. And in FeedbackWhiz, you can actually set up this product monitoring where you can select which ASINs you want to monitor for reviews. So for Get Toys or Dell Candles, you just pick the ASINs you want, add it to the monitor side, and you can save it. Once you save it, you come to the product review manager, and all the reviews that are posted on Amazon, we grab this data every 4 hours, and it'll be posted in FeedbackWhiz, and you can actually read the reviews. You can actually view it on the actual Amazon page if you want to. We do send out an email to notify you when reviews come in, so you do get a link that takes you to this page and the Amazon page as well.
Thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope you guys found it helpful. We're going to offer you guys a special promotion for FeedbackWhiz and Seller.Tools. If you use this code FBWST, you'll get 15% off your Seller.Tools monthly subscription and 50% off your first month at FeedbackWhiz.